Giving all glory and honor and praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who were well teaching this 100% truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, beginning with the 144,000 and the rest of the men, women, and children. I'm your brother Magan Shalamar. The title of this short video is How Are His Hidden Things Sought Up? This is going to be a quick video. Fair use, fair use. No monetary gain. Education purposes only. Fair use.
Okay, good morning, class. So we are today doing the rise and fall of the Roman Empire. And this topic is extremely relevant today because there's a country in the world that purposefully modeled itself out of Rome. And this country is the United States of America. The similarities between Rome and the United States, it's very striking. Both of these societies were of their time the most powerful nations. Rome dominated the Western world for centuries. And today, America is the world's most powerful nation. In fact, America is so powerful that if the entire world were to get together and decide for whatever reason to invade and attack America and not stop until America was defeated, well, if that were to happen, America would win. America is really invincible. It's protected by two oceans, and it has infinite resources, and it has an extremely aggressive population and the world's most sophisticated military. So by studying Rome, we gather insight into America, where America is right now in its history and where America is headed. And the central argument I will make to you today is that both of these societies, Rome and America, are really war machines. They're extremely aggressive. And if they cannot turn their aggression outwards, they turn their aggression inwards. Rome, throughout its history, was either fighting wars against its enemies, and then when it ran out of enemies, it fought wars within itself, which ultimately led to its decline and collapse.
Zobadiah, verse 6, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? And we know that through the power and spirit of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakadash, being on the men of Great Millstone, beginning with the elder apostles on down, who's teaching this 100% truth that's going throughout the four corners of this earth. And we know that Esau, Edom, is the wicked on this earth, and that's the so-called white man. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. And that's what this professor was going into when he said the whole world, knows that America is the so-called power on this earth, because she is that whore that sits on the back of that beast who controls the world. And we know that beast is dealing with Esau's government on this earth, the EU. And his confederacy has laid a deadly wound, is because they finding out that America is full of her abominations. All her sins is starting to become bare, made bare for the whole world to see. And that the beast is going to hate the whore. And this truth is brought out through the Great Millstone. Book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 11, says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and it had two horns like a lamb, and it spake as a dragon. And that beast is coming up. It's talking about America. Having two horns is the way America passes its laws. It's the stronghold of America. It's the democracy of America, which is the Senate that has the Republicans and the Democrat. And he spake as a dragon, and that dragon is the ancient Roman Empire. And he speak as a dragon is because America is like that professor was going into. It has the same image, the same legislation, the same architects, the same type of diplomacy as do the ancient Roman Empire. This is the Apocrypha, First Maccabees chapter 8. We'll start at verse 1. Now Judas Maccabees had heard of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men, and such as would lovingly accept it all that joined themselves unto them, and make a league of enmity with all that came unto them. And that's the rise of the Roman Empire. They was all mighty and valiant men. See that? And they made a league and joined themselves to the other, surrounding cities, and became powerful. Let's go down to verse 13. It says, also that whom they would help. Let's start at 14. Yet all this none of them wore crown or were clothed in purple to be magnified thereby. And that's talking about how if you go to Daniel chapter 7 and you read about that fourth beast would deal with Roman Empire, that they was different from the other Esau's rulership. When you had the Greeks and the rest of those, they was different because why? Each of those rulers had kings and they wore crowns. But Roman Empire, they didn't have a king. They didn't wear a crown, Verse 15, moreover, how they have made for themselves a senate, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting a way always for the people, to the end that might be well ordered. And that's what America does today. It has the Senate. They have both Democrat and Republican Party, the same as the ancient Roman Empire, who had the patricians, were like the Republicans today in America. They were for the rich, and plebeians, the same as the Democrats here in America, they were for the poor. And it says, moreover, how they have made themselves a senate house, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting a way for the people, to the end they might be well ordered, and that they committed their government to one man every year, who ruled over all their country, and that all were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy nor emulation among them. And that man is talking about the president here in America, because ancient Roman Empire had the Caesar, right? So America has the president, and they mimic the Roman Empire, who has a Caesar. All right, so you see back at verse 11 again, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and it had two horns like a lamb, and it spake as a dragon. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And how is ancient Roman Empire deadly wound healed? Is through the reincarnation of it through America. And how do America cause to worship that first beast? Is through his legislation, through his religion, through his architects, the sexuality, the same type of ways that Roman Empire ruled is the same ways that America ruled. The same buildings that you saw over in the ancient Roman Empire, you see it today where Esau is in power. Their government, their capital, all the buildings look the same. You know, there's no road, all roads lead to Rome. You know, all the roads lead to the major parts of Rome, like to the government. Same way here in America. All these major cities, all these highways, it leads you right into a straight path, right into the government, right downtown, city halls. You know, they believe into freedom of sexuality, that being gay, being okay to man sleep with man. It's okay to man sleeping with beasts. It's the same shit that they did over in Rome. Women sleeping with women. The Roman alphabet, you know, they go over here, they teach you the Roman alphabet. What's the X mean? What's the V1 and all that shit? It's the same thing that they did, you know. America is reincarnation of the Roman Empire. It said, verse 13, and he doeth great wonders so that he make fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And we know because Esau Edom is blessed with the sword. He blessed with the mighty sword, which is the modern day technology of the weaponry. Let's get the book of Isaiah 54. We're going to go to 16. It say, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. And that's talking about, we know the smith is dealing with the Lord showing giving the Esau his technology of the modern day sword. We know that to be in the ICBM missiles, the atomic bombs that was made. All of these high-tech technology came from the Lord, and it's going to be to their own destruction. This is Robert Oppenheimer. This is the man who created the first atomic bomb that was used over in Japan, Nagasaki and Hiroshima. This is what he's quoted. Now I become death, the destroyer of worlds. Let's go back to Isaiah 54 and 16. The Lord said, and I have created the waster to destroy. And so that's what we're dealing with. This devil who's going to bring in that new world order. Why? Because he make, verse 13, he do a great wonder so that he make fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Verse 14, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image of the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Right, because again, that image is to be a part of that system, into their philosophies, the American way, freedom of choice, you know, the alphabet people, you know, the worshiping of their gods, that Caesar Borgia, Christos, what's his name? What's the other white? The white G, Serapis Christos, you know, all of these are the image of the beast, part of that system of the ancient Roman Empire. Verse 15, and he had power to give life under the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right. Whoever buck up against that system we just talked about. As time go on, it's going to get more and more. As we get into the Jacob's trouble, that devil is going to be showing his horns more and more. You know, if you bucking up against that system that he's in place, or bringing on that new world order, which we know are going to be the micro C-hip, the MOTB, then guess what? You're going to be killed or thrown in jail. Verse 16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the mark in his right hand or the forehead. And that no man may buy or sell, save he have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Right? And we know that mark is dealing with charagma in the Greek. It means to stamp, to imprint, and we know that's dealing with the root word etymology is karax, and that goes into the palisade that's going to be used to push in that chip into your skin, underneath your skin. That karax is going to be like the needle. So this is how that chip is going to go through into your body. That's going to be implanted in your arm or your right hand or your forehead, is through that needle. Verse 18, it says, "Here is wisdom. He that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of the man. His number is 666." And that's talking about the that number is talking about the Esau stigma, right? Let's just get that real quick. Esau stigma. Oh, let me go back. Okay, Esau stigma. Okay, you see that? Stigma is dealing with a mark, pricked, or branded upon the body. It says soldiers bore a name or stamp, and we know today's modern technology that brand is going to be through that impalement of the skin, through that karax, through that needle. And this is that actual chip is being put in. That's how you're going to be branded. Why? Because it's going to indicate what master you belong to. Who's your master? Who you're a slave to. You get that mark, you're going to become the slave of this devil, the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. That's why it's so important you do not get that stamp. You do not get that mark. You do not get that chip, that RFID chip. All in one, same thing. It's going to be an implanting of the skin, that RFID chip. Do not take the RFID chip. And I hope you was edified. With that, I'm going to say Shalom, Call Halal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shad, Ba'ashem, Rakar Again, double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, teaching this 100% truth. Shalom. Hope you was edified. Pray that you were edified.